You see, many times the answer is always in front of us. But you see, sometimes the answer is so small that we don't want to believe that is the answer.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
And we live in a society that is a guessing game that is going on. And for those who have the knowledge, who can make it better, as I was talking about before the break, the society that we live in, the corruption that we see that is going on, not just in one place alone. If you don't have the education to understand what is going wrong in the world, then you will think to yourself it's only your community. If you're not looking abroad and see what's going on, the same problems in Africa is the same problems in probably Trinidad and Tobago. Might be on a smaller scale, but it's the same problems we face as human beings. What is the same problems that we face? We want to go into our house safe. After work, we come from work, we want to know that your children are being saved. This is a general problem that we all face today. Why are we facing these things? Because of crime, because of drugs. This is what's going on. So you can run to London and Chicago and these places, you will see the same thing. And if you live in the United States and you want to go to the Caribbean, especially certain parts of the Caribbean, you will see the same thing. You are not safe in the world today. The people that have the safety net, we know are the millionaires. Because they can get people to protect them. They can get certain things done very easy. Right, the law is always seemed to be on them side, on those people's side. But that's another program. So saying this now, let me say this to you. We're looking for the answer. You see, many times the answer is always in front of us. But you see, sometimes the answer is so small that we don't want to believe that is the answer. It have a lot of brain in this world that they cannot believe that this is the answer. This is the answer I'm looking for. No. So they will go around the world looking for the answer. And they will never find the answer. Because the answer is right inside of you. You see, many times you're looking for the answer. It's not far away from you. Many times the answer itself is right in your mind. It's not somewhere else in the moon. It's not anywhere else. It's in you. We got the answer. Because the problem that we are facing is the human beings that are making the problem. It's not dogs and cats that are giving you these problems. It's human beings like yourself. So it just means that you as a human being, you have the answer. If another one created, you can fight it. If another one give it to you, you can solve it. That is why doctors of the world can solve a lot of sickness. Because it's human beings that is giving you, human beings, these sickness. The mental discrepancy, you are not getting it from aliens. You are not getting it from creatures. You are getting it from your brothers. You are getting it from your sisters. This is what you got to understand. So when I say we can solve it, it means to say we got the answer within us. You see, the answer is so simple, you might think this is madness. But our scripture let us know the answer. I'm going to give it to you right away. The answer is a simple word. But before I give you that word, let me give you moral value. The moral values in life, the things you value, this is the answer. I can go straight and say love, but because the word is so damaged, we don't even want to use the word love. We don't even know what the word love means anymore in the society. So let us break it down to moral value. If you have any value in life, if you respect one another, this must be your foundation for civilization. Because you cannot have humanity in this place and no humanity in that other place. You cannot have civilization here, no civilization in your community. You cannot have respect for yourself alone and no respect for your brother. Because it will fall apart. This is what the Bible explains to us. These things will fall apart. You cannot have moral values for only your family. This is what some people seem not understanding. They only love their family. They only love their children and not the humanity. And if you only love your children and children alone, you're going to end up in a situation you're not going to like it. Because the next family, the other family, might just put a gun to your face. You might not like it. But because you are saying to yourself, this is not your family, you don't care for the rest of humanity, not realizing we are all connected to one another, whether you like it yes or no or not. We are all connected to the universe. We are all connected to one another. This is the principle what we must stand on. This is what humanity must stand on. Love and respect for all nationality. Like I just said before, I cannot say I love my child and not love your children. What sense will that make? And this is what the world is believing. It's just about me and me and me alone. It's just about what I concern. If I get it or I don't get it. This is the climate of the world. Yes, you might not like it. You don't have to read this in a book. You don't have to go to the universities to understand this. You don't have to call upon your scientists to understand this. All you got to do as a human being to look around. Love is not far away from us. The same love you have for your family, extend that love to your neighbors and your brothers and your communities. That is all you got to do. Extend the love. And when we extend the love, what is in this love that I'm talking about? I'm not talking about your just sexual love with your husband and wives and things. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about humanity. When you see your brother thirsty, you give him a glass of water. It's in the scripture. But you don't want to believe in this because you want to believe in the so-free democracy. It's you and you alone, and you don't care for another brother. So what's going to happen to you? Someone going to put a gun into your face sooner or later. Because not all of us can retain. Not everyone can retain as you. Not everyone can do what we can do. Where is a society that is looking after the poor and the homeless and the unretainable? Who is doing that? You see, sometimes because we live in this European society, we feel part of it. We feel that we are Mr. European himself. That is what our brothers and sisters believe in. Because you live in a society, the society was built for you. Not because you live in a society, the society was meant for you. You live in it so long, you believe it belongs to you. It's like living around dogs and cats. I saw a program. A brother was living around the dogs and the cat. All of a sudden he started to feel and he started to smell like the dog and cat. Is he a cat or a dog? Of course not. But because you live it so long, you believe that this world, this democracy belongs to you. And democracy, whatever is practicing in the world today, because I do believe in democracy, but I might not believe in your democracy, if you catch what I'm saying. I will not practice any other thing, because I do believe in it. I will not say that if I don't. You understand? But I believe in Christianity also. That is my first love. I have to say the word love to you. Because without God, man will stand on nothing. You see, we don't want to come to that realization. What is God? Love is God and God is love. What is God? God is wisdom. So when I say God, I'm talking about wisdom. And when I say wisdom, I mean love. Because you cannot get love without wisdom. You see, many of us believe, I feel something, so this is it. No, your feeling of what love is don't have to be love. Can be lust. You see, a lot of us in this lust game, because we lust over a certain thing, we say, I love. Many of the people in society today, we cannot separate lust from love. We cannot separate greed from want. We cannot separate these things because the society that you live in today is not teaching you these things. Where to university are you going to will teach you to separate lust from love. Not even in the churches are teaching you these things. What is the churches teaching you today? They are teaching you the worldly things. They are teaching you how to become wealthy. When I say wealthy, I'm talking about money. That is all they're concerned. They're not even teaching you about wealth, human wealth, in success of love. That is the wealth that we want in the society. How to live, because I guarantee you, you can have all the money that you want. You're not going to live a good life because the another brother next to you might not have the money, might not have the education as you, and that is the person that's going to put a gun to you. You got to understand that will be the brother waiting to dip into your pocket. We don't understand that. We don't get it. But I'm saying to you, you can understand it. All you got to do is look around, not in just your little community. If you look into your little community, you will not understand it. But if you look around in the communities of the world, as I was saying to you earlier, the problems that we face is the same. Don't make different names fool you. We have different names. We have Barbados, we have Jamaica, we have Antigua, we have Africa, we have London, we have German. All these names sometimes fool you. But when you begin to move the name from society, and when you begin to look at the culture, what are you going to see? You're going to see similar cultures around the world. Man is not that different from one another. We all gotta eat, we all gotta drink, we all gotta bathe. Whether you bathe, that is your choice, but we all gotta bathe. We all have to eat something for supper. It depends, you eat on a Monday or Tuesday, but you're going to still eat, you understand. Depends on your culture. If you come from a culture that don't use plenty water, so be it. But you still understand the purpose of water. And I hope so. We must understand the purpose of wealth. I hope so. But you see, sometimes we don't understand these things. We take it for granted that our culture is so different from another culture when we're all human beings. How different. You see, I say this a lot of times. Human beings are more in common. When it comes to culture, it's a different story. But because we live in society that don't explain these things to us, we don't understand culture. We don't understand human behavior. So we fall into this bracket that we feel is just I and I alone, or me alone, that is suffering. This problem that we face today is around the world. Go to Germany and see the same problem. Go to Afghanistan, see the same problem. And what is this problem that we have as human beings? Moral value. We cannot have value just for this culture and not another culture. We're going to always end up in this problem. I cannot love me and me alone and not my brother. We're going to end up in the same predicament. It's time society understand this. It's time that we human beings around the world understand this. I cannot have love for myself alone and not you. Whether you are Germany, whether you living in Germany, whether you living in Boston, whether you living in Canada, London, wherever, it have to be the same love. And that must be the foundation for all human beings. Whether you like it or not, this is a reality. Listen. I'll say it again. Our problems is not an alien man, a green man. Our problems is not dogs and cats. We can overcome these things. Our problems is the mindset. How we feel about self, how we feel about community, how we feel about our neighbors, our strength, our weakness. That is our problem that we face in society. We are not susceptible to these things. Whether you were from London, you're going to end up in the same thing. It's just a matter of time. It's who it reach first. Either you're going to reach you first or you're going to reach me second. But guarantee you, it's going to reach you. Why? Because the money is getting smaller and smaller. The wealth is getting smaller and smaller. The world is getting smaller and smaller. What do I mean by that? You can go on the internet and see what they're doing in Iraq. You can go on the internet and see what they're doing in the Caribbean. You can go on the internet and look at any government in the world. We're becoming smaller, so we know what's going on. You no longer can manipulate the society. It's not like 40 or 50 years ago where you can bully yourself on the pulpit. You can bully yourself in government, and because you are male, you feel to yourself you have what it takes to make one another move to your beat. That is what a lot of people feel to themselves 40 or 50 years ago. They could walk into politics and say what they want to say. Well, now the world is changing. In that sense, if you go on the mic, if you stand on the pulpit, if you go Washington and speak, whatever part of this world that you go and speak, and you want to convey a message, it got a lot of people been to the universities, a lot of females to understand it now. So when you open your mouth and speak, make sure you know what you are talking about. Because they are no longer sitting being a housewife. They're no longer sitting, these men, talking about they're not educated. All they gotta do is to go on the internet and see what you are saying. It's that simple. It's that simple. So, of course, the world is changing with education. It's just common sense. The world not going to change with man saying it's going to change. And that is what some people love to do to you. To say they got to change. If you got to change, I'm going to look at it. I'm going to see what change are you speaking about. That is the advance of man's mind. Education, wisdom, it's all the same thing. That is why I keep saying to my brothers and sisters, education and inspiration is like ring and finger. It's the same family. You the educated or have inspiration. And if you have inspiration, something going to say to you, educate yourself. And if you have education, something going to know to you is inspiration that you are picking up from the universe. Alright, so this is what it's about. So you cannot say that you are fooling the population anymore. What I'm saying to you, humanity is educating themselves. We are getting more inspiration and more inspiration. You no longer can fool people, government of the world. That is why you see in certain countries that when dictators say certain things, the people are going to say, when I say dictators, I'm not talking about Russia and these places. A dictator is a dictator. Get it into your mind. Whether he's on the street, whether he's in the house, whether he married to a woman, a dictator is a dictator. Could be female, whatever. Dictators are dictators. Now you say something, you know you cannot make women feel small anymore. They laugh at you. When you say a woman can do that, they say, well, we doing this. You say a woman can do that, they say, well, look at we. Women are everywhere that you can talk about and places for them still to grow. So you cannot manipulate these. Let me say it this way. If you're living in America, USA, you'll understand. If you're living in Trinidad and Tobago, Jamaica, Barbados, you might not understand. Let me say something to the American culture. If you think you can brainwash these Caucasian women, you will end up in trouble. If you feel that you can brainwash the African woman community, you will end up in trouble. These women are very highly educated. You cannot say anything as a male anymore and feel that these women going to fall for it. 50 years has gone by. It's gone. There are more writers outside there. There are more books to get your hands on. Everything is in front of you. If you're not educated, it's become of your choice. This is your choice. Because the government will force you to take your children to school. I'm talking to the American culture. If you don't send your children to school, they come get you. That is how simple it is. Alright? What we are missing is moral value. We got to go back to this value. If you don't get it, if you don't understand it, you might be an educator and you say, Wilson, I went to the best of university and I know don't kill. I know don't do these things. You might know that. Your value, education value might teach you that. But there are some people, you can have all the education and that there's nothing to balance your greed and your selfishness. So that is why I say moral value. This is education was given to society. Before you get to learn to read and write, we should learn that. That must be the first principle of your life. Love. What is love? That is why the Greeks break down love to their society. The agape love, the philia love, there are different loves. Why you think the ancient people out in Rome and these places and ancient Egyptian break it down? Because they understand there was need for us to understand the love that we are talking about, like Plato and all these guys. They understand it, that you got to break down the love in society for humanity to stay alive. Because if a man think love is love, he will sleep with his daughter, his child, his mother. He cannot separate the love. That is his love. That is what he sees as love. But if we break it down in society, if we understand to extrapolate the love that I'm talking about, you will understand the society to build must build on moral value. It's that simple. One word. That moral value will lead you to love. Let's go and take another break again. Listen to Visionary Talk Radio with Reverend Bagan Tewa D Lamb, Christ Consciousness, right here